Imagine you're a street vendor in a small town in rural Vietnam. You sell fruit. Every morning, you lay out your mangoes, your dragon fruit, your bananas. People come, they buy, but here's the thing. They don't always pay in cash. Sometimes they trade. A pound of rice for a bunch of bananas, a few eggs for a papaya. It works, but it's messy. What if you want mangoes, but the egg guy doesn't want your bananas? What if the rice guy wants coconuts and you only have lychees? Now imagine a stranger walks into your town. He holds up a little green piece of paper. And somehow everyone agrees it's worth something. The rice seller, the egg guy, the coconut lady, they all nod. That little green piece of paper? It's the US dollar. And here's the crazy part. That stranger isn't American. Your town isn't in America. America is thousands of miles away. But that dollar still works. It still holds power. How? Why? And what does this mean for your money, your savings, and your future? Let's find out.
Most people think money is just money. You earn it, you spend it, you save it. Simple. But very few people stop to ask, why does money have value in the first place? Why is a $100 bill worth more than the paper it's printed on? Why do people in countries like Zimbabwe, Venezuela, and Argentina desperately hold on to US dollars instead of their own currency? And here's the question that really messes with your head. Who decided the dollar gets to be the world's most powerful currency? Did someone vote on it? Was there a meeting? Did America win some kind of competition? The answer is both simpler and stranger than you think. And once you understand it, you'll never look at a dollar bill the same way again.
Let's go back in time. After World War II, the world was a wreck. Europe was rebuilding from rubble. Asia was recovering from devastation. But America? America came out of that war stronger than it went in. Its factories were running. Its economy was booming. It had gold. Lots and lots of gold. So in 1944, representatives from 44 countries gathered in a small town in New Hampshire called Bretton Woods, and they made a deal, a massive, world-changing deal. They said every country's currency will be tied to the US dollar, and the US dollar will be tied to gold. Specifically, 1 ounce of gold equals $35, always, no questions asked. This was called the Bretton Woods system. And what it did was essentially make the US dollar the anchor of the entire global economy. Every other currency orbited around the dollar the way planets orbit the sun. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1971, President Nixon did something shocking. He cut the dollar's link to gold entirely. No more gold backing. The dollar was now just paper, backed by nothing physical. You'd think the world would panic. You'd think people would stop trusting the dollar right then and there. But they didn't. Why? Because by then, something more powerful than gold was backing the dollar. Trust, habit, and oil.
Here's the psychological insight that most people miss about money. Value isn't about what something is. It's about what people believe it is. Think about it. A diamond is just compressed carbon. A luxury handbag is just leather and stitching. A piece of art is just paint on canvas. But we assign enormous value to these things because we collectively agree they're worth something. Money works the exact same way. The dollar didn't become powerful just because of policy. It became powerful because of psychology. Decades of trust built up. Trade agreements, military alliances, international institutions like the World Bank and the IMF, all operating in dollars. Oil, the world's most traded commodity, priced in dollars. This is called the petrodollar system. If you're a country that wants to buy oil, you need dollars first, which means every country on Earth needs to hold dollars in reserve, which means demand for dollars never really goes away. Think of it like this. Imagine a game that everyone on Earth is playing. The rules say you need blue chips to buy the most important resource in the game, energy. So everyone scrambles to collect blue chips. The person who makes the blue chips, they've got a massive, almost unfair advantage. That chip maker is America, and the blue chip is the dollar.
This is what economists call exorbitant privilege. America can print money to pay its debts in a way that no other country can get away with. It's like being the only person at a poker table who also gets to manufacture the poker chips. And there's a deeper psychological layer here, too. When people are scared, when there's a war, a financial crisis, a pandemic, what do they run to? The dollar. Because uncertainty makes people crave stability, and the dollar has become the global symbol of stability. Even when America itself is going through a rough patch, the world still runs to the dollar. That's how deeply this belief is baked in.
So what does all of this actually mean for you? First, understand that currency is confidence. The moment people stop believing in a currency, it collapses. This happened with the German mark in the 1920s, the Zimbabwean dollar in the 2000s, and the Venezuelan bolivar more recently. These weren't random disasters. They were crises of belief. When governments print too much money and people lose faith, the currency dies. Knowing this helps you understand why protecting the purchasing power of your money is one of the most important financial moves you can make. Second, if you're holding savings in a currency that's rapidly losing value, the dollar becomes a hedge. That's why people in unstable economies hold dollar-denominated assets, not because they love America, but because they trust the system the dollar is built into.
Third, and this is the big one, the dollar's dominance means that what the U.S. Federal Reserve does affects your life, even if you live 10,000 miles away. When America raises interest rates, money flows toward dollar assets. That strengthens the dollar and weakens other currencies. Your local currency might lose value simply because of a decision made in Washington, D.C. Your imported goods get more expensive, your travel costs go up, your savings buy less. Understanding this gives you real power. It tells you to think globally about your money, even if you live and work locally.
Here's the thought I want to leave you with. The dollar isn't powerful because of some magical property of the paper it's printed on. It's powerful because of a story that started in 1944. A story told through trade deals and oil agreements and military alliances and decades of global commerce. A story that billions of people in every corner of the world have chosen to believe. And that's both reassuring and a little unsettling. Because it means that all money, every currency, every note, every coin, is ultimately a shared story, a collective belief. The moment that belief cracks, the value disappears. Which brings us back to the most important truth in personal finance. The real power isn't in the currency you hold. It's in understanding why things have value in the first place, and making sure your wealth isn't built entirely on someone else's story. Build assets, build knowledge, build things that hold value even when the story changes. Because stories, they can always be rewritten.